Hey, I'm Dan, and this is Dan's Planes. Okay, Princess, introducing this video. Here's MiG-3 again. So I have spent days out in the 96, 98 degree Fahrenheit weather trying to dial in this engine. And I can get a good high end, about 7,600 RPM. It's a DA50, and I'm swinging a 2010 Zor World War II prop. So I can get a decent high end, 7,600. I can get a decent transition from low to high. But my low end, I can only get down to 2,000, 2,200 RPM, which means this thing is taxiing by itself on low RPM, and it would mean that it would be coming in hot if I try to land it. I just can't get down to 1,500-ish RPM. I mean, I can, but it will quickly die. It won't stay running. I have tried a series of steps of getting it warm, dialing in the low end, then dial in the high end, then go back to the low end, then go back to the high end, and back and forth, yada yada. And I've tried making it a little over rich, a little lean on both the low end and the high end, and I just can't get it. So I talked to DA. DA thinks it's most likely a carb issue, not an ignition issue. So they recommended taking the carb off and cleaning it and replacing the diaphragm, which may have stiffened over time. There could also be an air leak in there. Also, at this last needle setting, the engine could be at a medium RPM and it just dies as if a kill switch was hit. And DA, my friend, thought that was because it was getting hot, because it did that at the field, and afterwards they felt the engine and thought it was pretty hot. It was also another 96, 98 degree day out. But DA said if it was heat, it would kind of give you some warning signs and kind of gargle on you and then eventually die. Whereas if it's just dying like a flip of a switch, which is what it's doing, that it could be ignition related. So I am about frustrated with this. So my options are I could buy a carb rebuild kit. So I could do a new membrane, new gaskets, then not rebuild the carb, but try to clean the carb. I've seen a diagram of an exploded view of the carb, and it's way more complex than I thought it was. I know you don't have to take off everything though when you clean it, but that's option number one. Option number two is buy a new carb for $50, $60 and just swap out the entire thing. Have a couple friends that suggested doing that. Then my other option is to remove the engine and send the engine to DA and have them figure out what's going on. And by engine, I mean engine and exhaust and ignition, so they can have a full picture and they can figure out what's going on. And right now I'm inclined to think of that option because this is a hobby and it's not been fun trying to figure this out. It's just been frustrating. So as I always say, this hobby has a lot of frustration in it, but now I'm just banging my head against the wall, and it could be ignition, it could be carburetor, whatever. I've also got two other engines, DA50s, which I got all three of these at the last estate sale where I purchased a bunch of stuff to resell. So I don't know the history on any of these engines to know how old they are and if they've been taken care of or not. So I'm thinking of sending all three of them into DA, because DA said they'll run the engines a little bit for tuning and testing, but you have to run a gallon or two through it before there'd be enough fuel that the diaphragm would harden up over time if it's set on a shelf. So they said if I had those engines fixed up, they could basically sit on the shelf, and they've had engines 6 and 7 years later just fire right up and work fine. So I'm thinking of sending those other two in and just getting it all done at one time. It'd be a little cheaper on freight. And who knows what part costs are going to be in the future, so it might be better to do it now. So that's kind of where I'm at now, but I've also got my DLE 120 on the Focke-Wulf. It's only had 4 flights on the engine, otherwise brand new. I don't know that the engine was ever broken in, but I'm having the exact same issue on that. Transition is fine, high RPMs are fine, but low RPMs, I cannot get it to stay running at low RPMs. And it would just be about 600 to 800 RPMs too high on the low end. So I'm thinking I might take that carburetor off and clean it, maybe buy a rebuild kit for it. So while DLE is working on this, I can get the experience on that carburetor. So that's what I'm thinking as of now. I have to tear apart the whole front end and the whole, I don't know what you would call the bay area here, to get to the bolts, nuts and bolts to take the engine off. So that's what I'm thinking, but I'll probably think about it a little more and see what I'm going to do. What would you do? Put in the comments what you would do. Okay, I've decided to send the whole engine back, which means I have to remove it from the firewall. So I had to take out all the stuff that was packed in here. And I'm seeing from the field repair we made, there's glue all around that one bolt. So I got my work cut out for me with a Dremel to try to grind all that stuff away. It's always one bolt, isn't it? Always one bolt. That one's got a little on it I'm going to have to cut away. That's going to be the problem, child. Getting around that whole bolt. Don't know any other way of doing it other than just manually grinding it away. Part of my reasoning to send this out to DA is that it has the carburetor in the rear, so I would have to take the engine off anyway to take the carb off to clean it. So I'm going to have it off anyway. And like I said, I've got the 2 other engines, and I'm really tired of messing with this engine. I'm also tired of messing with that DLE 120, but you know, that's the life of a hobby modeler. So that's why. Okay, I've used this bit and this bit. I got too aggressive with this bit, and I ended up grinding the metal. So my bolt teeth are ground down, and I even ground part of the nut. So I kind of got around it, but I'm going to be lucky to get this thing off. I'm going to have to end up replacing the bolt and the nut, I'm sure. It was tough getting in there. I can't believe it, but I got it out. So there she is. Now the others should come out, hopefully, more simply.